In this video, I'm going to break down 2 delivery models and structures that you can adopt to your services if you're making the move from services into productized services and even looking to make the move into online courses and high ticket coaching and consulting. Let's dive in. Welcome back, guys. Greg here with Alt Agency, altagency.com. And like I said, I want to break down kind of 2 models, delivery structures, if you will, on how you can think about delivering your clients' results in a more scalable way, in a way that is less custom and more standardized, systematized, streamlined, and again, productized. If you are new here, my name is Greg. I run a company called Alt Agency. We've taken over 503 agency owners, service providers, freelancers, consultants through a process to disconnect their time from their income by packaging up their services, their knowledge and expertise into a core program that is delivered online, that is kind of a hybrid. You leverage your services, but you also get paid for your thinking by unpacking that and packaging that into a more deliverable asset like an online course, again, coupled with your service experience. And after having taken a lot of people through this process and even investing in online courses of varying sizes, from $200 courses to $40,000 a year programs that have kind of some of these elements, really what it comes down is to a number of ingredients that will work for you to help you get your clients results that requires less and less of your time. But when you roll in these ingredients, or when you start to use these ingredients, it's often deployed at different stages of the journey. So when you're in services and things are really custom, you're only using some of these ingredients. Depending upon where you're at, you might not just jump into either one of these models. They are pieces that literally can be bolted on when done correctly that will slowly give you more and more leverage and help you scale the delivery of your services. So first, we have what we'll call the leverage service program, aka hybrid. And you'll notice a few things right out the gate. First, an onboarding call. That's pretty common, a kickoff call, onboarding call that you might already be doing as a service provider. One really low-hanging piece of fruit that I see a lot of service providers miss that would make this kickoff call way better is to have a pre-call homework. And this could be, for the lack of a better term, it could be one video, it could be a mini course, 3-4 videos, depends, that really have your client go through a little bit of work, maybe gathering some assets, introducing them to how you work, what success looks like, that gets them into momentum. Because one of the big areas that I think plagues service providers is that moment between when they gave you the money and when the work actually starts. And we want to get them in flow. I can't tell you how many times I know I've been on a kickoff call because I didn't have anything to fill this gap, that the client showed up very unprepared, not knowing exactly what to do. And I sort of showed up with no plan, very unchoreographed, and sort of freestyled the conversation. Because as many early service providers do, we treat the relationship as once we make the sale, it's over, but really that's where it begins. So think about how you can use content, a course, for the lack of a better term, to get your client onto the same page so that when they show up to your onboarding call, you're able to have a meaningful, productive call and move into the next stages of execution. So that shouldn't be like first version of leverage is doing just that. Now, another version is to look at where I have curriculum here as your process. So if you're still doing customized services or really one-on-one delivery done for you, instead of curriculum, think about this as your 4 to 5 step process. If you sell a package, your process of delivery should be the same for each and every client. This is the pathway to create more leverage, which would be turning that process into a curriculum, into a course, into a series of trainings that move them through a step-by-step process to get them the end goal. But if you unpack your process, you will likely have a number of core modules and trainings and things that they need to know, things that you and your team and or your client need to do and also have in place to go from point A to point B, which would be the end result, right? The end deliverable, the thing that you promised, the thing that they paid you for. So far, a lot of this is very similar to how you might be doing service now. One form of leverage is add the mini course as pre-call homework to get them on the same page to have a more productive kickoff call. Next stage is to start turning your process into a curriculum. This will allow you to start going down the path of one-to-many sales. We have clients that come in that they're still delivering one-on-one, and to offload some of the support, they start having weekly office hours, weekly calls. 2-3 times a week, they say, hey, I'm available at these times. If you have any questions, the first place to get support, if you want the fastest support, is going to be to hop on one of these calls. The number one thing that that's going to do is actually reduce the amount of inbound requests that you have from clients. If you deal with a lot of client email, or you're inside of your client's project management tool, having office hours and things like that, and kind of directing and choreographing your clients to come there for help as the fastest way, the best way to get help, will start to help lighten the load in those other common areas. You could also add on one-on-one touch points. I think a lot of people think that when you go from, services into high ticket or into, courses and training, it's like black or white. It's all one-on-one or it's all one-to-many. And I think there's definitely instances to tie one-on-one touch points to specific milestones and activation points inside your curriculum and or delivery process. I have grayed out one-on-one also, because you can have as many as you want or need. There's no right or wrong number. Additionally, you can have support, which could be phone support, email support, text support. You can add a community. There's a number of clients that we have had that, and still do have, that if they just took their pool of existing clients and put them all in a room together, the value that would create. Not only would it bring all of your clients together to learn from each other, but now you are the person that has given them this new layer of knowledge and information and connection. So you can actually bring together clients and say, hey, we're going to start meeting once a month. And if you want to break bread with some of your other industry peers and learn what they're doing as it relates to some of the work we have together, this would be a great way for you to kind of get different perspective. Now, obviously, you can add value with what you currently offer doing that, and that could even be an extension or a reason to raise your prices. And lastly, you can still offer elements of implementation and or even assembly. So maybe they provide all the copy because you gave them templates and frameworks, but then you hop in and use Zapier or ActiveCampaign and connect these tools together for them on their behalf. Maybe they do a bunch of branding work and you take all of that and you build the website. My point that I want you to walk away with here is that as you move from service to productized service to products and programs, we're really creating more leverage. And we want to take the things that we say over and over and over again and the process and package that IP, one, into the form of media, videos, a course, that moves them through the process. We'll call that the curriculum. And then offer up different support ingredients or layers. Again, you don't have to do all of these things. You probably will layer some in over time where you have weekly calls, you have support, a couple of one-on-one touch points. They can email you, you can text in with them to check in. Your service will dictate which ingredients you need and when. If you need help with that, we can always help. There's links to schedule calls with my team to kind of brainstorm that if that's what you need. But this is a common model. And whether you invest in, 12-month coaching programs, 90-day coaching programs, whatever your recipe, your final entree, your dish needs to look like, both to suit your needs, your lifestyle desires, business desires, income desires, and get your client the result, you might use a combination of these to get them across from the problem to the promise. Usually with productized services and programs like this, there is a fixed timeline. So this is where you see the 90-day programs or the 120-day programs. So there's usually a start and an end date. Sometimes these roll into a recurring experience where it's a 12-month program, but that's really where you start to see some of these evergreen trainings where, you might have an onboarding call and then there's curriculum that is available at all times, 24/7. You have some weekly calls and you have a community, and it's, a year-long thing. The curriculum isn't maybe being expanded upon. There's probably less one-on-one because this leans more into the kind of the course piece. That's why we talk a lot about this hybrid or leveraged model where you're kind of combining actual services with curriculum and IP. Usually evergreen training and courses lean way heavier into the IP piece, which is totally fine. That might be for you. But again, you can add layers of weekly calls to further customize and help tailor some of that curriculum to your client's business. And, commonly a community, which for a lot of people is a Facebook group using circle.so. We use a tool called UpCoach, whatever suits your fancy. These are really the two common delivery structures, if you will, that you can apply to your business. And as a service provider, if a lot of things are one-on-one, you can look at this model right here and start adding in ingredients to move into a more leveraged model. And before you know it, you'll be in a situation where you have kind of a one-to-many model, and you've created and developed and packaged your IP into a curriculum that people can utilize in more of a done with you manner, not just have everything you do be done for you. Hopefully you found this helpful. I think there's like a lot of mystery around like, how do I turn this into a course business? And like, what does that look like for me? I think that there's a lot of variety here for you. And I think that's what I hope you walk away with, that just because someone does 3 calls a week and they're themed or does this one-on-one touch point doesn't mean that you have to do that inside of your delivery. We've seen a variety of examples. If you'd like help with that, you can schedule a call to chat with someone on my team, quick 10, 15-minute call to see if you even have something we can help with. If we do, we'll have a more in-depth conversation of what that might look like. If you're enjoying this video and you're new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. We release a new video each and every week. And while you're at it, check out one of our other videos right here and here, somewhere around my face. You can check out some more videos. Talk soon.